Welcome in Craft and Design 3.0. For my dear audience. In this video, I will describe some different and much beautiful idea of die welding project for a shop. So, dear audience, if we talk about in a about welding project, then welding is a fabrication process, or it is a process that joins a mixed material, usually metal or thermoplastic, by using high heat to melt the part together and allowing them to cool. So, causing fusion welding is distinct from lower temperature techniques such as brazing and soldering, which don't melt the base metal or parent metal. So, in addition to melting the base metal, filler material is typically added to the joint to form a pool of molten material, the weld pool. So that cool to form a joint that based on weld configuration, but full penetration fillet can be stronger than the base material. So pressure may also be used in conjunction with heat or by itself to produce a weld. So welding also require a form of a shield to protect the filler metal or melted metal from being contaminated or oxidized. So many different energy source can be used for welding, including a gas flame, chemical and electric arc, electrical laser and electron beam, friction and ultrasound. While often an industrial process, welding may be performed in many different environments, including in open air, underwater, and outer space. So, welding is a hazardous undertaking, and precautions are required to avoid burns, electric shock, vision damage, inhalation of poisonous gases and fumes, and exposure to intense ultraviolet radiation. So, until the end of the 19th century, the only welding process was fog welding, which blacksmith had used for millennia to join iron and steel by heating and hammering. So arc welding and uh, which I said, and oxy-fuel welding were among the first process to develop late in the century, and electric resistance welding followed soon after. So, welding technology advanced quickly during the early 20th century as well as World Wars drove the demand for reliable and inexpensive joining method. So, following the wars, several modern welding techniques were developed, including manual method like shielded metal arc welding. Now, one of the most popular welding method, as well as semi-automatic and automatic process such as gas metal arc welding and submerged arc welding. So, flux cored arc welding and electroslag welding development continued with the invention of laser beam welding. So, electron beam welding, magnetic pulse welding, and friction stir welding in the later of the century. Today, as a science continues to advance, robot welding is commonplace in industrial setting, and researchers continue to develop new welding method and gain greater understanding of weld quality. So etymology, the term weld is of English origin with roots from Scandinavia. It is often confused with the Old English word weld, meaning a forests area, but this word eventually morphed into the modern version word. So the Old English word for welding iron was sam, to bring together, semmed Wellong, to bring together hot, with hot more relating to red hot or swelling rage. So, in contrast to meadow paste to bind together with rope or fasteners, the term weld is derived from the Middle English verb well or welling, meaning to heat to the maximum temperature possible. So, to burning of oil, the modern word was probably derived from the past tense participle weld with the addition of d for this purpose being common in Germanic language of the Angles and Saxons. So it was first recorded in English in 5090 from a version of Christian's Bible. So that was originally translated into English by John Wycliffe in the 14th century. So the original version from Lyce to read the shall bit together. It's also much interesting. So, dear audience, if we talk about welding process, then it's gas welding. The most common gas welding process is oxy-fuel welding, also known as oxacetylene welding. It's one of the oldest and most versatile welding process, but in recent year it had become less popular in industrial applications. So it is still widely used for welding pipe and tubes as well as repair work. So the equipment is relatively inexpensive and simple, generally implying the combustion of acetylene in oxygen to produce a welding flame temperature of about 310. So the flame, since it is less concentrated than an electric arc, causes a slower weld cooling, so which can lead to greater residual stresses and weld distortion, though it eases the welding of high alloy steel. So similar process is generally called oxy-fuel cutting is used to cut metal. So as arc welding, these process uses a welding power supply to create and maintain an electric arc between an electrode and the base material to melt metal at the welding point. They can use either direct current or alternating current and consumable or non-consumable electrode. So the welding region is sometimes protected by some type of inert or semi-inert gas known as a shielding gas, and filler material is sometimes used as well. So arc welding process, one of the most common type of arc welding is shielded metal arc welding. It's also known as manual metal arc welding or stick welding. So electric current is used to strike an arc between the base metal material and consumable electrode rod. So which is made of filler material and is covered with a flux that protect the weld area from oxidation and contamination by producing carbon dioxide gas during the welding process. So the electrode core itself acts as filler material, making a separate filler unnecessarily. So the process is versatile and can be performed with making it well suited to shop job and field work. This process is versatile and can be performed. So, dear audience, I think that metal shop or welding project for metal shop are much inspired you very much and inspired your child, and different uses you can, my dear audience, can use it. So, dear audience, if my idea and my video are inspired you much, then subscribe my channel, like my video, and share my video for your affectionate love. So, thank you very much, dear audience, for watching my video. Once again, thank you very much.